When we take what isn't ours, we invite darkness into our lives. True beauty comes from within. However, watch this story and kindly let us know what moral lesson you got. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and tell us where you are watching from. God bless you. Zara was the first child in a house where hunger was louder than laughter. She grew up in a small village where people used firewood to cook and fetch water from the stream. Her father had died when she was just 9. He fell from a palm wine tree and never got up. After that, life collapsed like a broken roof. Her mother, Mama Zara, became everything: father, mother, warrior. With trembling hands, she sold a car by the roadside just to feed 6 children and pay for their school uniforms. Every naira she earned was a prayer, and every meal they ate was a miracle. But Zara was different. Even as a child, she wanted more. She hated the way poverty smelled, like sweat, dust, and shame. Whenever Mama gave her secondhand clothes, she would frown and throw them on the floor. "Why can't we live like normal people?" she once shouted. "You think I enjoy this?" Mama shouted back, her voice trembling. "I'd try, Zara. I'd try." But Zara didn't want excuses. She wanted new shoes, shiny earrings, braided wigs like the ones she saw on Instagram. She would look at her cracked phone screen and stare at pictures of Lagos celebrities with their long nails and long hair. She would screenshot photos of girls with smooth skin and 30-inch bone-straight hair, whispering to herself, "One day, I go get Am." And that day finally came, the day she got admission into university. The moment she arrived at campus, her eyes widened. Girls walked past her like they were walking on a runway, phones in hand, waist beads peeking through crop tops, lip gloss shining like glass. It was a new world, a world where Zara's mother's hard-earned Akara money meant almost nothing. Her roommate, Ijoma, was everything Zara wasn't: confident, stylish, always with a new phone or bag. Ijoma didn't just live on campus, she owned it. They became friends fast. Ijoma wore 34-inch Peruvian wigs and perfume that smelled like expensive lies. Boys chased her, lecturers feared her, and she always had money. Zara admired her but didn't know whether to fear her too. One evening, while they were dressing for a party, Ijoma said, "Zara, babe, that your childhood boyfriend no go care you reach anywhere oh. Leave that guy. Follow man, we get money. You dey suffer for love, I dey ball for sense." Zara looked at herself in the mirror. Her cheap foundation couldn't hide her tired eyes. "I love Godwin. He's trying," she replied quietly. "Trying no day by bone straight, my sister," Ijoma snapped, zipping her heels. "Use your sense before sense use you." Zara laughed awkwardly, but deep inside those words cut her, because she had been dreaming, thinking about that 30-inch bone-straight hair she saw a celebrity wearing. She wanted it, craved it, fantasized about how it would move in the wind, how people would turn to stare when she passed. And one day Godwin, her ever-loyal, struggling boyfriend, sent her 100,000 naira. "Use this to start the hair payment," his message read. "I'll complete it next week." Zara stared at the alert on her phone. Her heart skipped. She danced inside their small room as Ijoma rolled her eyes. "Love don tire me," Ijoma muttered. "You go still cry later." But Zara didn't care. For once, she felt lucky. For once, she believed that her dream life was just around the corner. If only she knew the road ahead would cost more than money. It would cost her soul. The sun was already setting when Zara boarded the rickety bus that would take her back to campus. Her small Ghana must-go bag sat on her lap, and her phone kept buzzing with Ijoma's messages. "Hope say you didn't carry the hair money, oh. You know one dull. Imagine you with 30 inches. Chai." Zara smiled as she replied, "Hair loading. Godwin Don send first payment." The bus jolted as it sped past quiet villages. Her heart was light for once. She leaned her head against the window, imagining how she would look, how the hair would bounce, how Ijoma's mouth would hang open in shock. But then, a loud screams. The bus in front of them had flipped suddenly. Tires screeched. The bus driver swerved and skidded to a halt. People ran from nearby houses. Some screamed. Others brought out their phones. Zara stood frozen. Dust filled the air like smoke. Ahead, a yellow campus shuttle lay on its side. Windows shattered, the smell of burnt rubber thick in the air. Students were sprawled on the ground, some crying, some still. She took slow steps forward, heart pounding. Her slippers crunched over glass. And then she saw her. A girl, maybe her age, lay near the gutter. Her eyes were closed. Blood trickled from her forehead, and one arm twisted at a strange angle. But what caught Zara's attention was the hair. Long, sleek, glossy, black as night. 36 inches of pure bone, straight hair, perfectly laid despite the dust and death. Zara's breath caught in her throat. The girl wasn't moving. People were shouting for help, but nobody was looking at her. Someone bent over another victim nearby. Zara looked around. Her heart raced. Her hands trembled. No, no, Zara, don't, her mind whispered. But another voice, louder and sharper, pushed back. You want this hair or not? God has given it to you. She knelt slowly. Her fingers reached for the lace front. It slid off too easily, almost like it wanted to be taken. She stuffed the hair into her bag, zipped it quickly, and walked away. Fast, heart thumping. Nobody saw. Nobody stopped her. She didn't look back. That night as she entered her room, Ijoma screamed, Zara, what in God's name? Babe, is that 36 inches? Zara smiled. It was the biggest, boldest smile she'd ever worn. I told you, she said, no more broke life. She washed the hair gently. It didn't smell of blood. In fact, it smelled of perfume, sweet, floral, expensive. She wore it the next morning, and everything changed. On her way to class, boys turned. Girls whispered, Is that Zara? Gotta beg, this hair fine dye. A no fit be original bone straight nah. Even lecturers who had never noticed her before asked if she was a new student. The attention was blinding, addictive. Ijoma couldn't hide her jealousy. This hair they perform wonders, oh, she said, flipping her own weave angrily. It's not just hair, Zara replied, adjusting her wig with a proud smirk. It's grace. But something about the wig felt heavy, like it was pulling her scalp backward. She brushed it twice that evening and found no strands falling out. Strange. She slept that night with the wig still on her head, dreaming of fame, money, and power. But just before dawn, something cold brushed her neck. A whisper, a breath, and a voice, faint but furious, echoed in the room. Return it. It's mine. Zara sat up, gasping. Her room was dark. Ijoma was snoring. The fan spun lazily. She touched her head. The hair was still there, still perfect. She laughed nervously and shook it off. Just a dream, she whispered. Maybe I'm just too excited. The next few days were everything Zara had ever dreamed of. People who used to ignore her now smiled when they saw her. Some greeted her with respect. Others stared in silence, their eyes fixed on her hair. Even on social media, her pictures were getting more likes than ever before. She posted a photo wearing the bone-straight hair with the caption, Stepping into my season. No one can dim this shine. Ijoma didn't say much anymore. She watched Zara closely now, like she was trying to figure something out. But Zara didn't care. Her dream had finally come true. She had the look, the confidence, the attention. Then one evening, as she sat before the mirror brushing the hair, she noticed something strange. Her eyes shifted, just slightly, in the reflection, only in the mirror. She blinked hard. Her reflection blinked a second later. Her hand froze mid-air. She looked at herself. Everything seemed normal, but it wasn't. She felt it in her chest, a tightness, a fear without a name. Suddenly the light flickered. Her reflection flickered with it, and for a split second, the face in the mirror changed. It was her face, but not hers. The eyes were hollow, the mouth slightly open, and the hair. It looked wet, as if soaked in blood. Zara jumped back from the mirror, her chair crashing behind her. The room was quiet again, the light steady. I'm tired, she whispered, pressing her hand to her chest. It's just stress. She didn't sleep well that night. At 2:13 a.m., she woke to the sound of soft weeping. It wasn't Ijoma. The sound came from inside the room. but not from any place she could see. It was quiet, but near, as if it were coming from the walls. She pulled the wig off and placed it on the table beside her bed. The crying stopped, just like that. She stared at the hair for a long time, her chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. The room felt colder than before. Still, she forced herself to sleep. But the next day, things got worse. In the middle of class, while the lecturer was speaking, Zara burst out laughing. Loud, wild. Her hands shook as she covered her mouth, but she couldn't stop. Everyone turned. The room went silent. The lecturer frowned. "What's funny?" he asked. Zara looked around, confused. Her lips were trembling. Her eyes were wet. She didn't know why she was laughing. She didn't know what had come over her. She left the class, humiliated, hearing whispers trail behind her. That night, she saw her again. The girl from the accident. In her dream, the girl stood in a pool of water, her body still broken, but her hair perfectly in place. She reached out to Zara with long, stiff fingers. "You stole from me," she said in a flat, lifeless voice. "Give it back, or I will take it." Zara screamed and woke up sweating. The wig lay on her dressing table. But it wasn't dry, it was damp, wet, like it had just been washed or pulled from water. Zara's lips quivered. She didn't touch it that morning. But the next evening, something even stranger happened. Her younger sister called from the village. Their mother had collapsed while selling akara and was rushed to the clinic. "She just fell," her sister said. "They don't know what's wrong. She keeps talking in her sleep, saying things about fire and hair." Zara's hand shook as she ended the call. She turned slowly toward the wig lying by the window. It was no longer just hair. Something had come with it, and it wasn't finished. Zara packed her things in silence. Her hands trembled slightly, but her face remained calm. Ijoma watched from the bed, legs crossed, chewing gum slowly. "You're really going back home?" she asked. Zara nodded. "My mother collapsed. They said she's not eating, not talking well either. My little brother is sick too." Ijoma's eyes narrowed. "And you think it's because of the hair?" Zara didn't answer. She zipped her bag shut and grabbed the black wig box, pressing it tightly under her arm like something precious. "You're overthinking," Ijoma muttered. "It's just hair." Zara didn't respond. Deep inside, she wished she could believe that. The bus ride to the village was long and quiet. The further they drove, the heavier the air seemed to grow. As they passed into her hometown, the scent of burning firewood replaced the city's dust. But there was no peace in it. Her mother's house stood at the end of a narrow path, its zinc roof rusted and crooked. Chickens scattered as Zara stepped into the compound. Inside, her mother lay on a mat, her frame thinner than before. Her face was sunken, her lips cracked. Yet when she saw Zara, tears filled her eyes. "My daughter, you came." Zara knelt beside her and held her hand. "Mama, what happened?" Mama Zara shook her head slowly. "They say it is a sickness, but it's not. Something evil is responsible." Zara's heart sank. Mama Zara looked into her daughter's eyes. "Zara, I saw a girl in my dreams. She was looking for something. She cried and said, 'Bring it back to me. I am not resting.' Then she pointed to you. I tried to stop her, but she disappeared in smoke." Zara said nothing. Later that night, her younger brother, Ibuka, began to convulse in his sleep. His mouth foamed and his eyes rolled back. The family screamed as neighbors rushed in to help. It took buckets of water and prayers before he finally calmed down. Zara was shaking. She had never seen anything like that before. The next morning, Mama Zara took her to a spiritual woman in the next village. The woman's compound smelled of herbs and incense, with charms hanging from every corner. Her eyes were cloudy with age, but her voice was strong. As they sat before her, she placed her palm on Zara's forehead and closed her eyes. Minutes passed in silence. Then she spoke. "You are carrying something that was never yours." Zara's chest tightened. "You took what belonged to the dead, a girl who bound her soul to a charm. The hair you wear is not ordinary. It holds her life, her vow, her pain." Zara swallowed. "How can hair carry such things?" The woman opened her eyes. "Some girls, they go to men who promise them power, beauty, wealth. These men don't give for free. They make blood covenants. Some use their hair, others their blood, or secrets only the spirit world understands. That girl, the one whose hair you stole, she made such a vow, and now that she is dead, the hair is cursed. Whoever wears it must pay her debt. Zara was speechless. The woman continued, "You must return the hair to her grave. Only then will her spirit rest. If not, your family will keep suffering, the curse will grow stronger, and you will not live long." Mama Zara fell to the ground weeping. "My daughter, please, let us go and return it. Don't let us all die." But Zara stood up slowly. "I can't," she said, her voice tight. "This hair is the only good thing I have. It gave me a new life. People see me now. They respect and admire me. This is my turn to shine." Her mother grabbed her hand. "And if you shine into your grave?" Zara pulled away. "I'm not ready to let it go." As she left the compound, the wind blew harder. Dust rose into the air, and the sky darkened as if the earth itself had heard her decision. 3 days after returning to campus, Zara began to notice strands of her own hair on her pillow. At first she ignored it. Stress maybe, schoolwork, worry. But it got worse. Each morning, more hair. Each brush stroke pulled out clumps. Her scalp burned, itched, throbbed. No cream worked. No oil soothed it. One evening, while dressing up for a class presentation, she opened the wig box and paused. The hair inside had grown. It was longer than before, past 36 inches now, and it shimmered like silk under the light. But it didn't look normal. It moved, just slightly, like something breathing beneath the strands. Her fingers trembled as she picked it up. She almost dropped it. It was warm. Not just warm, alive. Still, she wore it. That night, the nightmares returned. In her dream, the dead girl was standing behind her mirror again, but this time she didn't speak. She smiled, slowly, coldly, and she pointed. Zara jolted awake, gasping. Her sheets were tangled. Her heart was racing. Then she felt it, something around her neck. She screamed. The wig. The wig was wrapped around her throat, tight like a rope. The strands had moved on their own. She tore at it, coughing and crying, until it finally loosened. She crawled to the corner of the room, panting in fear. Her skin was pale, her lips dry. Her hands shook as she looked in the mirror. She was about to speak when she froze. The face looking back wasn't hers. It was the girl's. Same bone structure, same eyes, but blood was dripping from the lips. Zara screamed and threw the mirror across the room. She didn't sleep that night. Her body felt wrong. Her reflection wouldn't match her movements. Sometimes the mirror delayed. Other times it smiled when she didn't. Her roommates avoided her now. Some said she talked to herself at night. Others said they saw her standing in the corridor at 3 a.m., laughing at nothing. Even Ijoma grew cold. "You need help," she said one day, refusing to enter the room. "You're scaring everybody." By then, Zara had begun to fade. Her eyes were hollow. Her laughter cracked like glass. Then one night, as her breathing slowed and the shadows lengthened, she made her decision. She would return it. She traveled deep into a forested village, where they said an old native doctor lived, someone who dealt with spirits of the dead in their unfinished stories. The man was old, blind in one eye, and sat beside a shrine surrounded by ashes and bones. Zara knelt before him. "I came to return what doesn't belong to me," she whispered, her voice hoarse. The man touched the wig, now dull and gray at the tips. He drew his hand back. "It's too late." Zara's heart sank. "Please, tell me what to do." The man shook his head. "You did not just wear her hair. You wore her curse, her anger, her pain. She's not asking for her hair back anymore." He looked at her with that one sharp eye. "She wants you." That night, as the moon rose and the wind howled, Zara vanished. No one saw her leave the forest. No trace of her was found. Just the wig, lying at the shrine's base, soaked with dew and red at the ends. Some say she died. Others whisper she became a spirit, wandering roads, appearing to girls who envy too much, who desire beauty at any cost. And sometimes, just sometimes, some people act like they are helping accident victims, but instead they steal their valuables like gold, wristwatches, and even hair wigs, just like Zara did. Please always try to help accident victims.